Trudeau's coronavirus pandemic bailout package missed the mark and doesn't help the people who need it the most. It fails to even ensure there are jobs for low-income hospitality workers to go back to when this is all over. Wednesday morning, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau wandered out of his self-isolation at Reid Cottage looking as disheveled as I have ever seen him lately, and he announced an $82 billion spending, subsidy, and loan package to limit the economic fallout caused by the coronavirus self-isolation measures to prevent the spread of the infection that Trudeau himself allowed to be imported into the country for far too long. Now, there are some measures in that package to help people who are going into isolation, like easier access to EI, top-ups of the child benefit, increased GST checks to those who do qualify, and deferred tax payments until August and delayed tax filing until June. And eligible small businesses can qualify for a temporary wage subsidy for 3 months. This subsidy will be equal to 10% of the wages paid during that period, up to a maximum subsidy of $1,375 per employee. There were also some typically laughable Liberal things said in Trudeau's presser, like when Trudeau insisted all this spending and delayed federal revenue will not drive the country into recession. Trudeau insisted his, quote, prudent decisions made over the last 5 years have put Canada on a strong economic footing to weather this crisis. Excuse me, what? What last 5 years are we even talking about here? Now, the aid package is being applauded by those on the left and the right. However, there is a tidal wave about to hit the hospitality industry, and it's going to affect everyone, even people who don't work in hospitality. The hospitality industry is screwed, and so we all are. And I know there are other industries being harmed right now, like, for example, independent hair salons who are being told to work 3 feet away from their clients. But for today, let's talk about the food service folks. The feds can dish out bigger GST checks all they want to food service workers, but there won't be jobs for them to return to when this is all over. Just look at this from the Globe and Mail today. Wage subsidies won't stave off job losses, business groups say. Yeah, no kidding. And this is from the Waterloo Record. About 1,000 employees with local restaurant chain Charcoal Group have been laid off because of the coronavirus pandemic. It's one thing if they, the government, say we have to weather this for 3 weeks and how are we going to support everybody? But we don't know if it's 3 months, said Jody Palubisky, Chief Executive Officer of Charcoal Group of Restaurants. Said Wednesday the company operates 8 restaurants in Waterloo region and 6 in other cities, including Charcoal Steakhouse, Wildcraft, The Bower Kitchen, Beertown, Moose Winooski's, and Social Kitchen. In the region, about 650 workers are laid off until March 31st. Palubisky said after Premier Ford announced a state of emergency, he received a message from one of his landlords to take all precautions during the pandemic, but reminded him his rent was still due. Rents are still due, and our principal payments, interest payments, utilities, are they still due when they're supposed to be? We don't know, he said. Palubisky said the restaurants have adjusted thermostats, turned off the gas, and disconnected coffee machines in an attempt to trim costs. Now, here's the thing about that $82 billion aid package Trudeau announced. The aid to help the hospitality industry and really businesses in general, well, it was given to the banks, like the BDC. So now these struggling business owners still have to qualify for those loans. Try explaining to the bank that they should lend you a pile of money when the government has all but effectively closed your business for a completely undetermined amount of time. The government has said things to scare away your customers, maybe forever, sometimes rightly, sometimes wrongly, but you're good for all that money someday, if the government ever lets you reopen. Now, in Alberta and now federally, businesses and individuals can defer their tax payments until the end of August. I guess that's something. But deferring tax payments, well, that doesn't really help you if your business is closed until at least when your tax payment comes due. How do you pay your taxes if you're not open to earn the money to pay your taxes? And Trudeau's employee wage subsidy, well, that doesn't help restaurant, bar, and pub owners if the government has already ordered your business closed, or if you're running at under 20%, and so you had to lay off all the employees that you did have. And now, as a restaurateur, You owe $100,000 in rent, $100,000 to your suppliers, $50,000 in utilities, and you have no liquidity and cash flow all of a sudden, and the economy was already terrible to start with, and you've been struggling to keep up with Notley's tax hikes and her minimum wage hikes. You've been basically running on fumes for years, and now the tank is $250,000 in the hole overnight. Now, here in Alberta, the government is allowing for deferred utility payments for small commercial operations. But again, how do you pay for something when the government has kneecapped your ability to earn the money you need to pay the utilities when they do come due? To be fair, over the next couple of days, Alberta, at least the government, has said that they will be announcing more measures meant to help. But as I'm making this video, we don't know what those look like yet. And I'm generally confident the government tends to get these things wrong anyway. Now, maybe you're thinking to yourself, Sheila, I don't eat out, so I don't care about the hospitality industry. Well, I don't eat out much either, but I care because I own a home. Let me explain. The big chains, they'll survive, and big chain drive-thrus, they're going to survive. They'll be a little worse for wear at the end of this, but they'll be okay. The local guys in smaller places won't be. Commercial real estate vacancies will skyrocket. Municipalities will see a collapse in their tax base. The same thing happened in Calgary as their office towers emptied out during Trudeau and Notley's war on oil and gas. The remaining businesses, the ones who can survive, they will see a tax hike and they will pass the costs along to their customers. Homeowners will face tax hikes from municipalities who are trying to make up the difference. Again, all we have to do is look at Calgary as evidence. For all the people out there saying that you don't own a home, so you don't care about property taxes, well, your landlord owns a home, yours, and he will be passing the tax hikes onto you. The COVID-19 bailout misses most of all these newly shuttered hospitality businesses. Business owners didn't do this to themselves, just like, GM did so many years ago. The Chinese government did this with their evil lies about their virus, and then the Canadian government closed the doors for businesses because the Canadian government didn't close the borders soon enough, or at all, really, as Kean Bexley has proven at Roxham Road. And now the government has to fix the harm they've done. These businesses need immediate tax relief, municipal, provincial, and federal tax relief, because the measures designed to help them won't do much to keep them afloat and preserve all the jobs these businesses create in our communities. Instead, though, April 1st, April Fool's Day, the head April Fool of the entire country, is giving us all an increase in the carbon tax. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. During this Chinese coronavirus pandemic, Rebel News is going to be working hard to bring you the other side of this story, and we promise we won't be co-opted by Chinese disinformation either. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to like our YouTube channel and ring the bell to never miss a story. And if you like the kind of work we do, one of the best ways to support us is to become a subscriber to Rebel News Plus. That's what we call our long form, premium style, paywalled content here at Rebel News. Just go to rebelnews.com/subscribe to join today.